There are a lot of ways we can combine this clock and that moon, but one of the easiest is just with a mask. So if you select the layer with the clock on it and then come down right here, see, whoops, right here where this little rectangle with a hole in it, add a layer mask. Okay, so you click on layer mask, it loads right there. And it loads with the background color. I should have told you to have black and white here. It should have loaded like that. Then we want the gradient tool. Come down to right here, and if you have played around with anything else, we want the gradient tool right there. And then click on this pull down in the options bar and, well, click right here, excuse me, right here on the gradient, and select this very first one, black to white. Make sure you're on the mask, not here. If you're right here and you do this, bad things happen. Command Z, Command Z. It's undo, it's your best friend. Click on the mask and then drag. What happens? Drag, drag in different directions, and depending how far you drag, different things happen. You reveal. The black conceals, white reveals. So, and we're starting with black. So if I come down here to the bottom in the center and I start to drag, notice how it moves? I can hold shift and it constrains that to drag straight up if I want this mask to affect the visibility of the clock from the bottom up. Now you can also play with opacity right here. See where it says opacity? You can just hover over that word and drag left in order to lower that opacity down. You can get all kinds of different effects. There's also blend modes here, but these aren't really working very well with these two images. I'm not getting anything I really like in those blend modes. We will talk a lot more about blend modes. But right now, that is okay. This is our composite image that was just of that simple moon clock and that weird half of bleh city. And yeah, our signs are backwards over here. There's more stuff I could do to this, and probably will in the future. But for right now, you've had a long tour through this process. We need to save our file, Command S. And then the problem is, this is huge. Remember 4,600 pixels? This is huge. We don't want to put anything this size on the internet. So, remember, Shift Option Command S, File, Export, Save for Web. Shift Option Command S. That's the shortcut. We come here, make sure that you are not in a GIF, okay? This is not what you want. This is 128 colors. You don't want to deal with that. So change this preset to JPEG High, and it changes. You can change this 60 here. See that 60? I'm going to change it to 80. 80, not, there we go. And then the width and height. The web we're using, your blog, 1920 by 1080. 1080 high, 1920 wide. So why not change the width and height to 1080? Because you don't want 1920 high, because the screen is going to show 1920 by 1080. So 1080 square is perfect. Hit tab. This will resize, and this is the JPEG. We're going to go ahead and save this and make sure it saves in our same folder. If you click on, remember, if this is closed, open this up, click on this, and here is your city composite folder. Come down to that folder, and it's got the name. And because we changed the size, I'm going to use the right arrow and type 1080. So I know it's a 1080 pixel version of my full-sized PSD. You go ahead and click Save. That's the file, that little 1080 file. That's the file you put on the blog. But this PSD here, you got to save it one more time, Command S. Boom. That's beautiful. Now these two files, this is a JPEG, but it has 2 layers. If we hit Command S, Photoshop's going to say, hey, I got multiple layers here. I'm a PSD. Go ahead and save it. And then close it, Command W. Click on the moon and hit Command S. And again, it says, hey, I got 2 layers. I'm a Photoshop file. Great. So now you have saved your multiple versions. You've got your JPEG saved. You got your PSDs saved. And you have built this composite, and you've learned about 27 skills. I know it seems like a lot. We're going to do it again and again and again. We're going to keep learning these things through these tutorials. It's like working out. At first, it's really difficult, and you're going to get more and more in shape. You're going to start learning how to think in Photoshop, and after a month or two, you are going to just get this. Look at the walls. Look at what's on the walls. You want to make stuff like that? Those people all embrace these tutorials. So it's your call. Blow this off, suck the rest of the year, or take some time. Learn these skill sets. Show me some new stuff that you discover, because it's going to happen. All right. Thanks a lot for putting up with this. I hope you had some fun. The best thing to do at this point is start over. Try to do it again. You don't have to go through all the tutorials. See if you can rebuild this thing. And if you can't remember a step, then go back to the videos or call me over. Scott, go, look, I did this. See my layers? See, I did all this stuff. Well, I'm trying it again. I'm trying to do it from memory. What happened right here? What was I supposed to do? I will gladly help you out at that point. Okay? And if you have any problem with any of these videos, always, always, always call me over and say, Scott, go, this part right here, I didn't get that. I'll be happy to explain, okay? All right. Have some fun. This was fun for me. And again, this whole project, about 5 minutes work.